Drew Brees, who joins us on the program. Good morning, Drew. How are you?
Dan, I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm good. You're an analyst now.
Yeah, I guess that's the first time I've been introduced that way, so I just got to let that sink in for a second.
But former quarterback, that's weird.
I don't. I actually think the transition's pretty natural. I think that you play long enough, which, man, I had the chance to play 20 years, right, quarterback in the National Football League. Never in my wildest dreams did I think I'd have that opportunity, certainly the opportunity to play that long. But you basically go from the way that you prepare for a game and then actually go out and execute that plan as a quarterback. And you now transition into a position where you're basically doing the same thing, but you're just, instead of actually doing it, you're talking about it. You're describing it. You're still studying film the same way. You're still anticipating what's going to happen, based on what you're watching. And I think at the end of the day, this is a really fun opportunity, a great opportunity for me to just show my love and passion for the game of football in a different way, and maybe a way that connects with fans even more from the perspective that, I want to make it fun. I want to make it educational and exciting.
All right, let me give you your first question as an analyst. Who should be the starter at quarterback for the Saints?
You know what? It'll be interesting. I think, however that competition is kind of laid out or plays out, I think both those guys, have some unique skill sets. I'd say obviously Jameis and Taysom are different styles of quarterback, and whatever offense is run, I think just like you would do for any quarterback, you make the adjustments within the framework of the offense to fit the skill set that you're dealing with,
See, I would never let you get by if I was on Football Night in America with that answer.
Well, I really like both those guys. I think they both have the ability to be really good NFL quarterbacks. And so then it's just a matter of, hey, they just happen to be in the same place right now, So we'll see how it plays out. But Taysom's proven he can win games. I think Jameis, leaving Tampa, coming to us, spending a year in our system, I think he's developed a new level of confidence and ability to run our system. So it'll be interesting to see.
Did you realize the impact you had on Jameis? Because he got really emotional when he was asked about, being there in New Orleans with you.
Yeah, that was humbling. We had a great QB room. We had a lot of fun together. I always took it as a great responsibility to help young guys, help the guys that were in our room. I know that some guys maybe take a different approach. Maybe they look at it as this is the guy who's coming in trying to take my job, and so I'm not going to extend any help or advice or guidance. I took a very different approach because I knew how many veteran quarterbacks, as I was coming up, helped me and mentored me, and I can't tell you how much confidence that gave me, and really how that helped guide me through my early years. When I had some struggles, and so I've always kind of made it a commitment that if any young quarterback reached out to me or was in my room with the Saints, man, I was going to do everything I could to help them be the best that they could be, and I did. I tried to do that for Jameis.
Yeah, your first game, you came in and replaced Doug Flutie, I believe, right?
Yep.
Who was that Drew Brees back then? How different is he than this Drew Brees now?
Oh man, light years. You don't. What's amazing to me now? I've watched our offense evolve, right, with the New Orleans Saints from 2006 until now. So 15 years of evolution. It is the complexities of what we are doing now are light years different than back then, my first year in the Saints offense. I went back and looked at a call sheet from our very first game against the Cleveland Browns in 2006.
Give me a for instance. Give me an example here of what the call would have been back then.
Well, so for example, like the most basic formation, the most basic protection, the most basic play concept. Gun, red, right, 24 scan, Y Flutie. And by the way, that Y Flutie, that's a concept that everybody in the NFL runs. But when I was with the Chargers, it was one of Doug Flutie's favorite plays. So we nicknamed it Flutie because we were starting to transition to some no-huddle stuff and we needed code words. So we code worded a concept Flutie. And we were the first ones to do that because Doug Flutie was on our team. Well, then you have coaches that end up going to different places, from there and taking that terminology. Yeah. So I'd be willing to bet there's probably about 6 to 8 teams in the league that actually run Flutie and call it Flutie. So it's funny how those things just kind of spread. But,
give me the most complicated call you ever had.
Well, so it'd be like, all right, so boogie to green left, slot, let's go X short tight, pass 37 buster nudge, Y Flutie sting, Z spear, kill, 53 tight and left. So, like, the terminology can be endless, And here's the worst part is that, so that's that play call. And now you're in a loud stadium, and let's say the headset cuts off after the coach says, boogie to green left, right? Like, you don't realize how often that stuff happens, And then play clock's going down, and you just have to, you are, like, thinking on the fly. You're having to just pick up, bits and pieces and put it all together. And, oh, by the way, maybe it's a different personnel group in the huddle. That was such a specific thing. And somebody, tweaked an ankle and now they're on the sideline. Another guy's in. You're getting him coached up on what his split is. It's a -2 split. It's not an outside edge split. Man, there's so much stuff is happening and so fast that, man, it's kind of a free-for-all at times. But, man, that's what you love about the game. It's what makes it fun and exciting. Never a dull moment.
What'd you keep from your last game?
What's my what?
What did you keep from your last game?
What did I keep?
Yeah, uniform, everything, play sheet.
The memories, the memories of my kids on the field after the game probably was the most significant part of that. So nothing tangible, from like a jersey or cleats or anything like that. It was. Listen, you don't. It's not like you just wake up one day and say, "Oh, I think I'm going to retire today." That's a process. It's a couple-year process that you begin thinking about how that's going to happen.
And you knew before that game started, if you lose to the Buccaneers, that's your last game.
Well, I knew it was my last home game, because we were going to go on the road and play in the playoffs and the Packers and then hopefully onto the Super Bowl. But so I knew it was my last home game. There was significance with that anyway.
You didn't want to leave the field though with Brady. Did it help in any way that if you're going to lose a game, you lose to Brady, or is that the last person you want to lose to?
Well, I didn't want to lose. Period. Considering that you're playing against a guy like him, who I have a great relationship with, and we go way back. We played against each other in college, right? And so we've kind of been on this journey, together in a lot of ways. We've kind of share one of the same mentors. So, just a ton of respect. I know. I think any quarterback in the NFL, only those guys can really understand what it takes to play that position and all the preparation and just the time and the attention to detail and the headspace that takes up, during the course of a season. But yeah, it's I've had the chance to play against him a lot of times, 3 times this year, so that's we've got a great relationship, and obviously we know what kind of a player he is.
Drew joins us on behalf of Copper Compression, the #1 bestseller on Amazon in the personal care category. Are you going to be in the backyard throwing footballs with fellow Hall of Famers here soon?
Yeah.
Are you on the other team? Because Favre gets Jerry Rice, and I never understood that. Like, that's not fair.
I was going to say this would be like the battle of the copper compression products, but I need to go choose my receiver.
Yes.
He chose Jerry Rice. That's a pretty good one. I'm gonna have tryouts. I'm gonna conduct the copper compression tryouts. I'm gonna pull some guys, out of their living rooms and
have a combine,
and
Drew. Have a combine.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's going to be like a mini combine. I've got to choose my wide receiver from history to take on Brett Favre and Jerry Rice, and then the random guys that are just in the park.
Yeah. Tom from UPS is out there. I feel bad for him. Tom from UPS is out there trying to cover Jerry Rice. I mean, it's just not fair.
Yeah. I mean, listen, you just take away the inside. That's what I would do. That's my advice. Just take away the slant and then have somebody play over the top.
How many broken ribs did you have? And are they all healed now?
Yeah, I believe they're all healed. I had 11. I had 8 on the left side, 3 on the right.
Wow.
But I didn't even know you had that many ribs.
I didn't either. I didn't know either. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a crazy deal. I obviously never felt anything like that, and yet at the same time, it wasn't. I mean, it sounds crazy. Your mindset is such that, man, nothing's going to take you off the field. So you don't even recognize the severity of anything because you're pushing through. And the 8 that I fractured on the left side were in the second Tampa game. It was the Sunday night game at Tampa. Second quarter, I kind of get slammed to the ground on the left side, and I knew something was wrong. I mean, it was a feeling I hadn't had. The wind gets knocked out of you. That happens a lot. But all of a sudden I felt like, man, I'm having trouble breathing. I can't rotate. I had a hard time throwing the ball in the second half of that game. I mean, it was functional. I got the job done. But, we win that game big. But I know something's wrong. I wake up the next day, go to an MRI, got all these broken ribs, and it's like, all right, well, let's just find a way to get to Sunday. I mean, that's really the saying amongst all NFL players. Find a way to get to the next game. And so, man, training room, rehab. I didn't practice much that week. I just tried to get ready to practice on Friday that week and I was in so much pain on Friday. And so I was like, God, I don't know how I'm going to do this. And so got out on Sunday and felt actually decent going into that next game, which was against the Niners. And then sure enough, in the second quarter of that game, I get thrown down on the other side, and that's what fractured the 3 ribs and then punctured the lung. And that was so it's one thing to have all that going on one side of your body, but then to have it on both sides. The problem at that point was as that game progressed, I mean, I finished the half and we took the lead. I felt like we had the game in hand. But when you sit at halftime for 25 minutes and then come back out, I couldn't rotate. I couldn't do anything. So I basically went to Sean and was like, man, I can throw the ball like 15 yards right now. That's about it. So, I think in my mind, too, I was thinking, all right, I know this is going to put me out for a period of time. I could go out there and make this thing worse, or I could just shut it down. Let's win this game, which I felt like we would anyway, and then try to make it back as quick as I could.
Well, you don't have to worry about that now. I don't think. If you get any kind of rib damage, it'll be just from your kids hugging you, right? The only ribs will be on the Traeger grill.
That's exactly right. Those are the only ribs I'm worried about right now, and how I'm seasoning those babies before I smoke them.
Hey, congrats. Good luck with Copper Compression, the number 1 bestseller on Amazon in the personal care category. Play nice with Brett Favre and company, and then good luck on Football Night in America.
That's right. Copper Compression is going to help keep me young. I can sling it around in the yard of these future Hall of Famers I got running around this house.
And your kids, yeah. Oh, that's what you mean. Yeah, future Hall of Fame. Yeah. Hey,
did you pick up on that one, Dan?
Yes, I did. Yeah, I did. It took me a little while. Took me a little while. That's why I played quarterback as a freshman in high school. That was as far as I got.
I love it. All right, man. Hope to see you soon.
Thank you, bud. That's Drew Brees.